Hi, my name is Yon-Suk from South Korea, and I am working at Gyeongbuk University. Nice to meet you all. Today, I am talking about two texts. One text is from German literature. Another text is from Korean literature titled Heok-San of Kim. The title of this study is A Meaning of Healing Writing Shown in a Text, focusing on the movie titled The Reader, published 2008, and the novel titled Heok-San by Kim, published 2011. My study is funded by the National Research Foundation of Korea. It takes 2 years long. And my study is based on literary healing as a creative anthropology. The starting point is health science, in German Salutogenese, which maximally applies the creative power and the innate sense that a human being has. On the other hand, a human being in the literary therapeutics is defined as the body subject that perceives, remembers, contemplates, and expresses. In German, I can say perceptive, memorative, reflexive, und expressive Leibsubjekt. And another basic or base for my study is based on literature as cure that can be easily found even in texts that were addressed in this study. Still, the common point which is shown in this text is what most characters come to attempt: reconciliation with life in the meantime, or to get a reward for the past life through the literary or artistic experience. Also, the characters in a literary work come to not only find own problem oneself through intensely looking back on an extremely difficult life, but also find comfort and vitality of life in the middle of passing through such a process. As this is similar to the healing process available for being discovered in the process of literary therapy, for instance, it can be regarded even as a self-healing vitality, which is obtained by a participant's writing a literary text and attempting the interpretation on it oneself, according to the healing program that was presented by the therapist. Then, the next aims to explore the literature as a cure and the healing in a literary text, while examining the cases on therapeutic process available for being easily found in a literary text. The perspective of literature as a cure, which was elicited through reading a text in this study, can be identified diverse standpoints in many aspects, but can be arranged by connoting it with around 2 key things. These 2 viewpoints include, first, the healing as reconciliation and comfort. Second, the healing as observation and insight of life. I'm going to move out to text one. Case one is the reader of Bernhard Schlink of German literature. I reconciled with our story. This is literary healing as reconciliation and consolation, and it is having a case as Hannah in the movie titled The Reader. So you can see here some pictures from the movie The Reader, and here you can see Michael, and this woman is Hannah. Michael is reading some books if he is meeting with Hannah. For example, many books of a classic, but Hannah is listening his voices. His voices are the powerful energies for her, but he couldn't read and write actually. But Michael don't know she couldn't write and read. So, and then finally, she is in jail because of her life story. She is doing some bad things with Nazis, and in jail she becomes some tapes. What is Michael reading some books, and then with the reading and listening some tape of books, she can write something and read. She can understand literature, and then she writes some letters for Michael. So you can see here in the picture what the functions of comfort, reconciliation, and reward play a primary role in the characters can be often seen among original functions of literature. Especially seeing from the position of the authors who write, there are many cases that most of their works ultimately attempt a reconciliation with it while addressing the memory in the past as a material. For example, in The Reader as a German movie that is addressed in this presentation, the main character Michael in the last chapter of the work is confessing the process of reconciling with past memory, which had been hard, the recalling. So I'm going to read some text quotation. So a reason that I tried to write our story is because of having liked to escape from this story. However, the memories were not reminded properly when I am about to write. Meanwhile, I realized that our story is getting out of me. So I desired to hold on to those things anyhow through writing. Nevertheless, even writing failed to revive my memories. I just left our story alone without touching from a few years earlier. I reconciled with our story. Upon that, our story returned with a round and a complete image that has own direction up to the details and not to give sorrow anymore to me. So text quotation and why is writing some text, or why is his story here? Because he likes to write because he want to forget his life with Hannah, because it is so bad for him, or yeah. So, and then reading a book to Hannah through Michael's voice becomes energy available for being consoled newly with forgetting the memory with the past. Hannah's consolation may be possible even through the words of encouragement. I can say in German, Zuspruch, etwas zusprechen. This is sehr important for Hannah. And the words of comfort. This is also important. In German, I can say Trostspruch. Jemandem trösten heißt das. That Michael delivers. So, I am going to the next text. Text 2, to the Kim Hoon's Heok-San. This is case 2. He says, Ja, this is sehr wichtig, sehr important also. Ja also has a meaning of now, this moment, here. So, isn't it good? This is literary therapy as observation and insight of life as well. Most of literary works can be mentioned to have a therapeutic characteristic, especially the therapeutic process that is depicted through the hero Yakjeon in Kim Hoon's Heok-San shows very strong message. So the therapeutic process, which is described in this work, is begun with arriving safely on the island called Heok-San. Actually, Heok-San-do, Heok-San Island, after the main character left a place of exile. For example, leaving trauma of the body behind, he takes comfort from saying on that occasion that the smell of time sprouting beyond the horizon dawns. I'm glad I didn't die, because new time in that way is flooding like a mountain. In other words, even before the grief of the survivor died down, his mind of looking at the sea turns into a series of hope for new time. This is also a gift of nature that the sea with eternity gives. But it is no exaggeration to say that originated from the attitude of life that accepts everything with this destiny and conformity. Then let us examine from which point process that he is making a therapeutic life was begun. So here we can know that the therapeutic vitality of a being possessed by language can be obtained through the surrounding environment or new incidental vehicles. This is just a part of showing as well that the literature as a cure can reach the integration of a mind and the body through the method dubbed the artistically embodied language. So I'm going to the next quotation of Heok-San, text quotation 2. I try to call Changde down and to speak of the fearfulness, but failed to carry on my words, and delivers the following message to Changde. I intended to live with changing Heok-San into Jasan. 정약전 wrote dark Ja on the paper and showed it to Changde. Changde lifted up his head. It will be the same. It is not the same. Ja means to be cloudy, dark, and deep. Also, it means to be too dark. Ja also has a meaning of now, this moment, here. So, isn't it good? The Iceland that you and I live here now is Zasan. I've no idea why you change. Heok-San is scary. Heok-San constantly awakens to what here is a place of exile. There is a light, even if being faint in Ja. It is the light coming towards here. I feel so. All the fishes of the sea belong to Jasan. I think so. Text quotation end. So this is very interesting. Finally, I am going to the conclusion. My conclusion ever for being gained in the text, which were addressed in the above main subject, is a point that all the leading characters finally come to get healing through experiencing the self-therapeutic process themselves, like Hannah and Chung Yak-jung. So, like you see, in other words, this is similar to what the participants in the literary therapy reach the therapeutic process through taking part in the literary activity spontaneously and intensely. For instance, such a way of life will just include book reading and writing like Hannah and Michael, in analog methods, not internet or screen in the area of information technology, taking our work for interacting with the nature and writing leading to composing and looking back oneself like main character in Heok-San. The communication through taking with people around. This can be mentioned to be just a device of literary therapy available for vitalizing the literature as a cure and the healing in literature much more. Therefore, the literature as a cure, namely the healing in literature, is considered to be likely able to be linked to the true integration of body and mind, thus through which the reading character oneself possesses, with finding a creative self and the ego of expressing oneself. So this is my presentation. So thank you so much for your listening, and I wish you happy days. So thank you. Bye.